Hello everybody, I'm here with the Hammer Game Channel and welcome back to TNO, The Last Days of Europe, and back to my Siberian Black Army playthrough. Now, I was wondering which route to go with despotism or libertarian socialism, and I think everyone's kind of, well, the general consensus is that I should probably stick with the libertarian socialism, so we're going to do that. So basically every choice where I have to improve their standing, we're going to take it, mainly because we do have this, which is, plus 0.04 for the despotist support, which is not great. But anyways, let's go ahead and start off with our revolutionary reconstruction. Siberian Soviet has survived what many thought would be the end of the short-lived anarchist experiment. Tens of thousands of lives later, we have achieved independence from the Turko Yagoda. Unfortunately, our glorious revolution is not yet secure. Our army was utterly drained by the last war, and industry is in no condition to produce guns at rates needed to replenish our equipment stockpiles. Whatever industry is left, that is. We remain undeterred, however. Plans are already being drawn up for the liberation of Siberia, and our soldiers are eager to spread revolutionary anarchism to all of Russia. No gods, nor masters, only man. We get 5 stability. Fantastic. Now, in decisions, We've got the support of the one commune we have right now. We're developing the civilian industry, which is going to boost our libertarian socialism support, as well as give us a civvy. For the most part, I will also ignore the ones that improve the despotism. Implementing motion. What the hell? Don't know what that is. Other decisions, actually. What do we have? Right, we're not going to be able to do that anytime soon. We could build new schools. We could do a raid against Central Siberia. Yeah, do you know what? Let's raid them. Let's do a raid. We're already there. And let's go ahead and train new workers. Let's do that. Oh, there's a wee... Omsk has got a wee border conflict going on as well. When does it kick off? Very soon. Good. Good. Hopefully we'll be able to win this. They've got motorized. Ugh. Well, I think our first target is going to be Krasnoyarsk, if I pronounced that correctly. And there's the war in the desert. That's that done. We no longer get the effects of granted economic autonomy. That's fine. Black Army. The Red Mantle. I think what we'll do is we'll work down most of this tree first, just to boost the libertarian socialism. Right, the grey area. In a perfect world, the anarchist society would come about naturally as a popular reaction to the corrupt and unjust states that ruled over them, states that favoured the wealthy and affluent above all else. As things stand, however, it would seem that all people are more attached to their states than originally anticipated. Many of those states take issue with our existence. The communes separately cannot repeal an invasion from these powers, and thus a centralised military is necessary if we are to survive, but is such an apparatus not contradictory to the fundamentals of anarchism. Furthermore, the Central Council that presides over all the communes, regardless how democratic it is, not also opposed to ideals of anarchism. How far can we stray from our roots before betraying our ideological core? We should encourage these discussions and plot out exactly what rights should be allowed to the communes and individuals as opposed to central government. -5 stability, plus 2.5 war support, and cognitive dissonance? Well, Yugoslavia's getting invaded. Who would have seen that coming? Oh yes, and Bosnia's popped up. Goodbye, Tito. It was very short-lived for you. And the Mongolian Civil War has ended. Oh no, I'd just like to also point out I did, well, restart slightly. Let's initiate that. I did restart just because the update came out, the English update, so I've restarted, but obviously it didn't really change much. Tribute page. Miraculously, Tomsk caved in and paid us tribute, handing over our desired loot from their state. Oh, wasn't exactly expecting them to do it peacefully. Well, if we go ahead and scavenge for loot, we should get another, hopefully get another one, which then we can go ahead and maybe, and new industrial equipment. Industrial equipment societal development will begin to improve. Probably a good thing to do. That's what we'll do. We've got this from Pluck of Power as well. Can we actually change these? Or do they change themselves? They probably change themselves. Right, the Italians won against Croatians. Who would have seen that coming? Right, the grey area is done. Let's go ahead and delegate industrial administration. At its core, communism is an ideology whose whole purpose is to give the means of production back to the people. Given centralised government control of the economy is completely contradictory to this idea. In order to improve the efficiency of our economy, we should instead create an industrial council from several communes, which will create a list of possible industrial improvements and sites of investment, which will then be passed on to each commune's local council for consideration. The industrial council will then also be allocated a set amount of capital so that they might facilitate such industrial construction projects in underprivileged communes. Many heads are better than one, and that 3% increase to our popularity. Okay. Don't exactly know what that's doing, but Gaspar knew the back of my fear. Fear was a rare emotion to man, at least outwardly. He yearned to scratch, but was prevented by Russian pair of handcuffs. President policies Bukharin risking his life in the name of anarchy, something he had struggled to reconcile with, and judging by the tribunal before him, it is well traitor. Okay, so Gaspar is being called a traitor. Prisoner hung his head in a vain attempt to save face. Why could they not understand what he believed in liberty? Without a strong state, there would be no stopping fascists from raising this land. Speak for yourself, coward. Do you have any defence, or are you content dancing for your masters? Smoke emanated from across the room. A pistol, the source. Apparently the man was guilty. I have no time for this naked tongues of sadists. That's what the man whose arm adored with the insignia of the Black Army. Wow, so he just shot him. Okay. Okay, Gaspar's dead. Okay. That's very random event there. The Black Army. What do we get for doing this? Walk home, doctrine, military factory, infantry streamlined equipment production, which grants production cost and reliability increase for infantry equipment for 720 days. Not bad. Blackguard divisions will perform in Kansk. And 105 militarized society by +5 organization, +5 group population, and 10 stability. Okay. War support rather. There's not stability, there's war support. Enforce Black Army discipline. Despotism goes up by 10. Not a bloody chance in hell. Increase militia reliance. And 4% increase. Research speed up. 7.5 increase. Empower the communes. Let's go ahead and do that. The People's Apocalypse. Nation of writers, poets, and scholars, University at Tomsk produce more manuscripts and manifestos than people care to count. Yet one piece published anonymously has begun to spread controversially far and wide throughout Siberia. The People's Apocalypse tells the story of a faceless scholar's journey throughout the fall of the Central Siberian Republic, progressively encountering those who the author identifies as the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Ivan Zavolko, Genry Yagoda, Alexander Pokriskin, and Nikolai Andreev. Condemn the four men is bringing the end of the promised people's realm. The story ends with the land destroyed and all four being consumed by madness and the weight of their own evil, turned to stone as hideous reminders of their deeds. Note is left unanswered to whether anyone will survive this end of days to remember what has been lost. Okay, that didn't really... Oh, convince Kansk. Opposes us. Commune requests funding. Commune will... Provides extra funding to communists will cost 1 million. Okay, we've got to keep them on our side. Why are you opposing us again? Come on, you've got to stay with us, communes. You've got to stay with us. At least we've only got one to deal with now. Could you imagine what it's going to be like once you've unified some of Russia? Let's see how that scavenge is going to go. Legacy of the Siberian plan. There should be stuff in here that we should probably go and ahead and grab. Decrease worker content and discontent. Oh my gosh, 7.5 consumer goods. There's probably some stuff in there that might actually be useful as well. Right, alright, we'll come that back and look at that in a second. Stability, construction speed, sadly we're just going to have to take the one infrastructure here. All the roads between our communes will become increasingly important if we are to ensure prosperity and commence commerce between communes. To that end, we will create a grain bank which will distribute extra grain to communes that build roads within and around the territory they control. This grain bank will be stocked voluntarily with grain provided by the communes that has a surplus. In return, they will have compensated monetarily or with any raw materials or machinery with equal value to what they have provided. Nice, okay. Right, back to this. Invest in heavy... Oh, many heads are better than one. Map Central Siberia reeked of mildew, the sides dotted with rips and tears in the city, names rendered illegible for decades of exposure to the elements. Through it all, however, the double-headed eagle sat resplendent in the corner, its watchful gaze promising to prevent any harm to befall Russia. Although the eagle watched, very rarely did something stare back till the face of Veneman entered into its field of vision. The fuck is this? Are you really using maps for the Empire? He turned around to the rest of his peers who were similarly hunched over the yellow map, what? It's all but reliable. I brought pens. The man reached into his bag and retrieved 6 pens. We can mark out the different communes from here. He uncapped his pen and immediately scribbled over the coat of arms of the House of Romanov, snuffing out the bird for good. I suppose it can go alphabetically. What's the status of Berezai, Katerina? Less than ideal. We have been hit hard by the communists to the east ever so often. Some bitter old men will cross into our land and burn it all to the ground. Black Army has promised an increased presence, but we've got nothing of the sort. A man already drawn a skull and crossbones with the commune. Divert him from Zelnogorsk as possible. Much of the industry there was left untouched. This became the pattern. For 3 long hours, the members of the Communal Industrial Advancement Council drew signs and stripes, painting a picture of a free land interwoven with arrows. Goods danced across the frozen tundra, springing from place to place, as the hunt for the perfect balance escalated. The man finally set his pen down and admired the work. It was messy, but well put together. Messy, but well put together. Okay, it was organised chaos fitting for the free territory. Well, that is very true. Right, however, due to the unique nature of our region and heavy industrialisation of our territory, we must watch our industrial workers closely to ensure that discontent does not build within the population. What happens if discontent gets too high? Increase factory industrial capacity. Consumer goods by 7.5, but minus 2. Decreases industrial capacity by 2.5. Increase construction speed, but consumer goods goes down. Up rather. That's awful. Decreases consumer goods by 7.5, increases worker content by 1, minus 2.5 stability. Don't think we really need to invest in any of those right now. You get away. Right, so once roads for grain's done, the red mantle. I don't know when the black spring happens. All around the rains of April have stopped coming down. Trees are in full leaf. Hopefully, when it gets to the following year, Course of the Mad King. Oh, this is where we get our war goals. Secure the frontier. Slightly decreases quarantine. Partying like it's 1914. Okay. Probably be working through the majority of this. Right, the Siberian Soviet has had an increasingly difficult time acquiring qualified personnel in important fields like mechanical and electrical engineering. This has been largely due to the absence of organised education across Russia post-collapse. The best way to go about alleviating the situation is to incentivize people to go into these professions. By creating a mentor program for the men and women going into these fields, a student will be able to learn the craft under a trained professional and get paid by the government while doing it. Increase our support by 3, industrial expertise will improve, and we'll get 5 stability. Fantastic. Obviously, they're still gaining support, but hopefully we can just render it down to being nothing. I'm actually going to divert civilian production. We're going to gain some stability. Plus having... It's a minus 7 consumer goods. Having minus 7 consumer goods will be very good for us. Surely. Maybe an extra factory. Oh, America's going to war again. We've got 6 factories. The only issue is construction speed is absolutely pathetic. Someday we'll eventually finish building. Dmitry Sostashkovich. Okay, you seem very democratic. For the Commonwealth. Oh gosh, yeah, they're going to invade everybody as well. Let's do batch production methods. We can do it in our research slot, to be fair. Don't know if we'll... Oh wait, we should get one for actually doing... Where is it? Oh yes, we got second look. Let's go ahead and do industrial equipment. There. Should get one here. Yeah, we do. Research slot for the reunification of Russia. Right, assist village schools. Education is the foremost way in which we can bring our communes off their ancient ways of thinking into the 20th century. We should give the communes more resources for the development of their educational services. which they can use to build better schools and higher education centres. As a part of this programme, we will provide higher quality teachers from the cities to assist in training new teachers over the course of the next few years. Additionally, we should endeavour to increase enrolment at schools and colleges so that people might take advantage of the huge resources available to them. Increase our popularity again, industrial expertise grows, and a welcome surprise. Right, nice. So we're importing new industrial equipment, which is good. Could go ahead and actually do another raid on them, which, do you know what? Let's go ahead and raid them again. Fast planner, offensive doctrine. You got any promotions? No. Got a guerrilla fighter. I eventually want them to have infantry expert and infantry leader. Bonus defense and attack. That'd be quite handy. Let's go. Initiate the raid against the central Siberian. They refused tribute. Oh well. Unlucky. We'll now try and take it from them. Which, so far, so good. Got some divisions moving. We are winning it, unless they reinforce. Yep, raid successful. Reports have returned. Our men hurry home with trucks filled with loot and blood smeared over their hands. Treasure. Good. I'll maybe just do another search when we're able to do that. Treasure. Our men have crushed the enemy and uprooted from the land of everything of use to our raiding parties. 75 political power. We have plenty of political power. I should really be using it. Maybe just raid someone else in a minute. Right. Worker discontent is non-existent. That increases consumer goods, industrial capacity, construction speed. Increases construction speed by 7.5, but increases consumer goods factories by 2.5. Well, we've got 7, so that's going to push to 4.5. Yeah, we'll do that. Invest in heavy construction techniques. So we have a look at this now. -5, but construction speed is 0.07. Get an XP bonus, the construction speed we're going to get. Anyways, the contradiction's settled. Just as the Soviet Union before us, we have arrived at some final conclusions as to how far the central government's power extends. But what rights are reserved, and what rights are reserved for the people in communes? The contradictions inherent to our anarchist state have finally been solved, and with it the number of logistical and administrative issues that have been previously plagued the general government. Whatever path that's been chosen, it's important to remember that all we've done in service of the greater good and the Russian people. May history look back upon us kindly under political power. Not that we're really in the need for political power. A welcome surprise. Wrangling unruly Russian children were already a daunting task. Wrangling unruly Russian children who have been taught their whole lives that the only thing that truly mattered to them was their freedom and independence was nigh impossible. Didn't help that the books were decaying before their eyes. Most of the students could hardly spell Makhno, let alone tell who he was. Edouard put his all into his career despite that. He had to. There just weren't as many schools as there were back in the day, and the best teachers were almost disenfranchised intellectuals from Tosk. He resigned himself to the brave room. There was enough coffee to drown his sorrows in. As he prepared his drink, he heard the door crack open. Ah, Sasha, how are you doing? A damn lot better than I was this morning. Guess what arrived today? Edouard sipped in his coffee. What is it? Don't tell me they are cutting the budget again. Sasha flashed a grin, and she held an envelope. Far from it. What is it? A letter from the Communal Education Enrichment Council. They're granting us extra funding. Everyone nearly spat out his coffee. No shit. That's incredible. Maybe these kids will actually learn something for once. Electronics, plus 100%. Nice. What else do I want to do? Let's have a wee look into Warlord development. There's surely something here. Weekly stability. Got pretty good stability already. Can we improve our war support? Research speed. Oh, we should do this. Industrial investments. Because we're either going to get a civvy or a military, so I'll take that. Anything else? Consumer goods. One infrastructure. Consumer goods minus 10%. Daily political power gain goes down. Take control of ourselves. With the free territory entrusting increasing power into the communes, the Black Army has taken a backseat of leadership of the Siberian people. Once the charging of prospecting power-hungry generals, the people have decided to stay true to the ideals of anarchism that inspired a revolution in the first place. Good. Look at that. We just have to get... Black Army administration weak. Sorry, Black Army, you're just kind of being... Well, not kind of... dumped on, but just, oh. Tomsk has sent us an ultimatum now. We will not back down so easily. And they're having the same conflict as we had, they're now attacking one division. Idiots. And the enemy is defeated. Grand, we get some rifles for that. And we finish that part of the tree. Right, the red mantle. We get some factories down this way. This is kind of sorting out our army. Which is fine for the time. Nothing without us. We'll maybe do that one. The red mantle. The Siberian plan was a massive industrial program that built up regions of Russia far from the front line with Germany, industrializing in preparation for the German-Soviet War. We ultimately lost the war, but the industry built during the time allowed the Soviet Union to push far beyond what anybody ever expected. Ironically, the territory of the Siberian Soviet was never a particular focus of the plan, and thus our industrial capacity is lower than that of our neighbours. Nonetheless, the industry available to us will provide a solid base upon which we can expand. Long-term effects event. Do you want to scavenge for loot? Implement motion. Right, what do we get here? Infrastructure. Do I expand? Let's improve our infrastructure. Plus gives us a nice wee. Wait, so you do it. Gain popular, but then we lose too. Okay. That's fine. You know, they keep using my field marshal for the divisions. Oh, what do you want now, Kansk? Send them whatever they need. Minus 50 bloody support equipment. I wouldn't mind actually building up some of these divisions. We do have the equipment to slightly do it. No, let's do it. Let's do it. Right, the red mantle's almost finished. Well, it has now. People survey 2 billion slots in Bratsk, if I'm saying that. We're to allocate industrial data consolidation. As a result of our rather unique decentralized form of government, the quality and amount of industrial machines available to each commune is often dictated by what the communes themselves can produce. This has led to the great disparity in the industrial strength between the communes, as some communities have been unable to produce according to their needs. Having compiled the industrial data provided to us by our various communes, we have identified several communities that would benefit the most from investment in their productive capabilities. Long-term effects. The ghost of Bukharin haunts us still. Much can be said about the years of Bukharin. The disastrous performance in the Second World War can easily attribute to the leadership. Amongst the grizzled veterans of the Security Council, most of the day is occupied with yellowing maps with crinkled corners depicting a land long unseen. The 63rd Cavalry moved north to Minsk. Withdrawal from Kiev, the last stand at Leningrad, relived. That's all it would take. Despite the military shortcomings of Bukharin, one would be hard pressed to say that the Siberian plan did not breathe life to the dead area. Bukharin, the gift bestowed upon us in the final movements of his empire, has laid a framework for our next moves forward. With our hindsight, the failure to the plan is obvious. The centralized system. The ghost of Bukharin haunts us. Sure, external investments. Let's do that. Because we've got plenty of political power right now. Plenty. So I might as well try and get some more building going. Because I do want to get some more all of this stuff into production. And then finally getting some planes. Planes we can kind of live without now. Kind of. Do we actually even have any planes? No. Does Tomsk have any planes? No, it would appear that we all have no planes, so it'd be nice to have like a little amount of them. This isn't actually a bad idea because it would give us a little edge on our rivals. Has Burgundy finally done it? Oh well. They're doing their usual. Okay, right, we're going to read this one because I'm going to have to know what's going on. In order to properly allocate resources in the communal economy, it's important that we know what territories are suitable for industrial development, for resource extraction, and for agrarian development. Additionally, borders between warlords are often uncertain and flexible. A land survey would allow us to plot out exactly what territory is ours and what territory would be valuable or strategic to defend in the event of war. To this end, local communities will be asked to participate in a people's survey, in which the communes will voluntarily survey the lands in coordination with their neighbouring communes. Good. Right. Anyways, let's read this. Svyatopolk shuffled the papers before him. All his sleepless nights, all the awkward conversation with village leaders, all of it led to right here. 25cm thick binder of paper in all its glory. I'm just going to call him, I don't know, Polk. We'll just call him Polk. Bit the inside of mouth in contemplation. These all could have been blank for all the Security Council cared. What mattered was what he had to say. He took his attention away from his pride and joy, his magnum opus, and watched as the members of the council stepped up to the bench, ready for yet another seminar. Polk nodded to himself in reassurance. His job was done for the most part. The decision was up to the council. He had just to present the option. Good morning, companions. I'm truly delighted to be here, and I'm sure you're all as well. The agenda today has just one topic: the focus of our industry going forward. The report presented by companion HOI4 together is missing some very crucial data. Due to a combination of massive amount of data lost in the collapse of both the Union and the Republic, and the decentralised nature of our communes, the true state of industrial prowess by community was difficult to ascertain. As you can see, Polk heaved the hefty stack of papers into the air. That data is more accessible and more accurate than before, while we only have one of the council members visually bored, raised his hand and shook his head. Yes, we appreciate the hard work, but what does any of this mean? We've already been briefed on the state of the communes. I do not see why any further deliberation is needed. Polk felt weak in his knees. He was losing them. Well, you see, he stuttered, we are at the crossroads, you could say. There are two areas of concern, the light industry sector and the rate of construction. In the status quo, we are relying on what we can be best described as medieval factories. Construction of new industrial hubs would take much time and be a much larger investment. On the other hand, we could carry on with the means we have now, but raise the quotas, which would be cheaper but may leave our people disenfranchised. Ultimately, the decision is yours. Out-of-date factories will be our downfall. Yeah, we need more factories. We don't need them to do better. We need more quantity over quality, I think, for factories right now, because we can just go back to the Italians when the Italians took a Turkish war. We might actually go back to outdated equipment for the infantry equipment for the time being. The Mosin Nagant, just so we can actually produce more of them out. And they're easier produced than the PPSH, as much as I love it. Alright, let's see. I do wonder when this is going to allow us to... The winter is over in the spring. Okay. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Black Army. Well, gas every factory here increases construction means by 5%. Thank heavens for that. Infrastructure, agricultural societal development. Oh, resources. Increases factory industrial capacity. We've got a military factory. The corrections made. Yeah, we're probably going to finish off this section before we try and do any of that. Gearing up. Krasnoyarsk. Bulgaria sides with Germany. Don't think it's going to matter which way did they... Oh yes, Warman, of course. Of course. Right, is there anything we want to do again? They're supporting us, that's fine. We can do a raid. Focus on research, train our troops. I don't want to do any more of them. Got another Soviet factory. Could do it actually exercising the troops as well. That might actually be beneficial to us. How many divisions have you got since you're going to be our first target? 2 of the 4. Should be able to overwhelm them. Maybe get to Kemerovo? Let's actually have a look. Measured integration, authoritarian democracy. Why would we want to increase authoritarian democracy? No. No. I was saying that. That would appear to be the way to go for us. Measured integration. Because then we get the increase to our popularity here. Slightly decreased corner time and the court of the Mad King, Kemerovo, People's Revolutionary Council, no exemptions. The trial of King Rurik. King Rurik. Are you King Rurik? You are. Wait, did I see we go to war with the People's Revolutionary Council? People's Revolution. Oh, wow. One's Tanu Tavu. Yeah, well, we're going for increased local cooperation. Bring down Tomsk. Orutia? Novosibirsk. I'm definitely saying all these wrong. War support down. City under siege. You know, we'll rely on the people's justice. Decision long in making. Pass away the free country. Freedom has been found. Can't wait to get into all that. So we're going to push down in here first. These are going to be our first targets. That's fine, because that gives us time to get a bit stronger than Tomsk. So right now they do have one division more than us. And maybe they might actually fight each other, because they did in my Sverdlovsk playthrough. So hopefully they'll do it again. Anyways, let's begin the redistribution. The land reform efforts we began years ago when we first established the Siberian Soviet were never completed. The folks have simply survived the Siberian War, consumed most of our time and efforts. With those issues resolved, we can resume our efforts redistributing the land according to each community's needs. Our failure to resolve the issue has led to some communes abusing their size and manpower to push other communes out of land they need. This land reform program will seek to reorganize communal borders in a fair and equitable way. 1 civvy and increase construction speed by 5. Fantastic. What do we have going on? Implement motion. That's fine. That is fine. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave that episode there. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I shall be back very soon for another episode. Till then, take care. Cheer bye. The now.